All right, so we are starting out with object-oriented programming in Java. And the convention in Java is to always have the class as a separate file. So here is our Shark. Here is our, Shark Maker. One difference between Python and actually C++ too is as long as you've opened the folder with Visual Studio Code, you don't have to import Shark Java into here. This automatically finds, oh, there's the Shark right up here when you're creating the Shark class. Right here, it'll say, oh, where is the Java file that's named Shark? And it'll find it. You don't have to import it, or you do with C++ and Python. Not a big deal, but it is different. So here we are. In the case of Java and C++, yes, we can make these private. So you can't access them from outside the class, which is what we want. We don't want to be able to access this from our Shark Maker. We want to go through the setters and getters. Right now, we're not doing anything in here, but we could validate, we could calculate, we could do all sorts of other things. So we want them to go through these public methods. Public doesn't mean it's available for everybody in the world. It only means that it's available within the program itself. Private means that it's private to that file. So this is available to this and this, but it's not available to anybody else. So we have to do the, instead of self with Java, you don't have to do this dot name. I do this dot name as a convention, so it's specific that this variable belongs to the class. Where in Python, you have to put the self. I always put this just so it's easy to see that this is the variable coming in, and this is the one that belongs to the class. It's either that or you give them different names. This is the convention I like. So we have to declare the incoming variable. Same thing here, we have to declare this is coming in. We can also define class methods. And this is one that I shouldn't be doing, should I? I should be returning this. Return this name, dot that.
But that's just the testing function, right?
Right, but if I'm I should return that value.
I guess it's safe.
I should return that as a string.
Yeah.
So that I can display it however I want. And I have a note at home, I've been going through these tutorials, because that is a better way to do it. Otherwise, I'm locked into printing it. So now in Shark Maker, when I return that, I can print it.
So then does Java not have like specific main run? So I could just run, if you were to run that file alone in its
It won't, nothing will happen. It's like if you run a class file in Python, nothing will happen. It'll go through and validate it, but that's it. So you never run this individually. You're right, you can't run it with a main method. You could probably. It's just not, you don't conventionally do that.
No.
No, in here you would do it in here. So I need to change this guy to system.out.println. Yeah, there we go. There. That's a better way to do it because then this returns the value. And I could also assign this to a string also. And notice that it automatically puts in the doc string in there for me. It shows that it's a string that's coming in, right? But Sammy, no, that's not what it shows. Let me go to this one. There. It shows that it's coming in as a string. It's referencing the class, but this is an object of the class, so it's going to have the same data type. It's going to come in as a string, and that automatically happens for VS Code recognizes that that's a string. We didn't have to put in special documentation or doc comments like we did before. And here's another example. I can get name, get age, and print it out. So the nice thing about returning as this is we can display it in a GUI, we can display it in a website, whatever we want to do. We've separated those concerns. So that all the Shark does is either take information in or it sends information out. It's not actually doing anything specific for the user interface. Everything here is user interface. So we have the separation of concerns, which is one way to say what we just did. I mean, that's a computer science-y term. So when we run this, it's automatically going to find the shark. We make a new shark named Sammy. So let's see what happens when Sammy gets created. Hopefully I didn't break it. Now I have to allow since I updated. There, look at there. The swimming is 3 years old. Sammy, no idea where Sammy came from all on its own. Oh, I just added name in showing that, yes, you can assign it to a local variable if you want. Which is probably a preferred way to do it, to assign it to a local variable, but you can access it directly from the method. And anytime we declare variables, we want to declare them at the top. The only reason I printed this here is to say that's when it's created, but typically you do all your variables, constants, and creation of your objects at the top of the program. Then you start using them. That's a typical process. I mean, a typical flow of what you're doing. So there's the shark maker. We can make sharks. We're also going to make other sharks too. Let's see. Yep, already got that done. Shark maker. This is the next part with the init. Yep, here's the init part from constructor with parameters. Let's see, this is shark 2. Yeah, I didn't go on as long as JAWS did. I just went from shark to shark 2. I didn't go JAWS 87. Okay, here is our class. By default, there is a default constructor. And I put in just default constructor just to show that if we create the shark without anything, this is the constructor. It creates it. It's a special method, just like in Python, init is a special method. And its purpose is to create objects. So if we don't have any constructors in here, this is automatically used. You can see this has no parameters. This one has parameters. So this one, we create the shark, we give it a name, we give it an age at the same time. And you can choose which one you use. And you can guess how you choose which one you use. It's how you call it.
Because yeah, if you don't call it with anything.
Yep, which is a little different than how Python works. If you pass this through, it says, I'm going to use this one. And if you do, where's the next one? There it is. I did one. I normally create these at the top. I did it because I was going through an order. So this time it says, oh, these two parameters are coming in. They match this, so I'm going to use this one. So it's called overloading in Java.
And you can do this?
Not really.
Not really?
Sort of. You can do default values and things, but not exactly like this.
Oh, that's awesome.
You can if you have to use default values and other things, but this is simpler. And I mean, this is how Java and C++, yeah. And when we're doing methods, we'll also overload methods so we can have the same method with multiple names and same name and multiple parameters. So you can pick either one. We still have our private attributes. We still have getters and setters. That's all the same. In fact, everything is, oh, yeah, I will fix that guy. Return and get rid of this. And make that a string instead of a void because we're returning information. And then we just have to fix it up over here. Where is it at here? Swim. Yeah, so swim will say, oh, I can't do that. So we do system.out.print ln and put that in there. There. That's a better way to do it. We want to separate our concerns. So this is all user interface. This is all input and output to the user. This does all the business logic in the background. So you always want to try to, like with the Flask thing we're doing with NormNet, we have to do it that way because the HTML is what the user sees. All the logic is in our Python files. So it does it automatically separating in those two things. And actually we have something that's called model view controller. Have we talked about that?
I can't remember if we did.
Okay, so model view controller is a paradigm, meaning how we do something. There we go. How we architect, it's an architecture. There's a picture. So the user interaction would be like the index.html. It would be like SharkMaker. This is the front end the user sees. It gets input from the user. It sends output to the user. This is where we interact, and that's all it does. It doesn't do anything else. The next piece is the controller, right?
Yeah.
Model view controller. So the view goes to the user. The user clicks something, which goes to the controller. And what would be the controller in this case in Flask?
That'd be our main.
It'd be our Python files, right? Our Python files that we're talking to. Then they're going to talk to Olama and say, give me this information. When the information comes out of Olama, we go through here to the view, which is the index, and that's the cycle that keeps going. So we have each separated into its own piece. The view accepts information and presents information and accepts information. The controller does the work. And this is where we make the request, we get the data, it comes up to the view, and then it's displayed. So the model could be any data. It's the internal, it says in here, the internal representations of information, which could be information from an AI model. It could be a database. It could be a file system. It could be anything where we're storing information, because most of our programs that we write in real life have some way of storing information. We don't just have, well, there's calculators all over the internet that don't store anything. But everything else we go to stores things, at least your user preferences. Like for games and stuff, and your high score. So that's the same thing. This actually combines the model, because the model is this, our attributes, what we're storing, plus we have the business logic in there. We have the get and the set. This is how we get two things. Oh, actually, this is the business logic, isn't it? It's printing, the console would be our view, wouldn't it? Yeah. But we don't separate it into three different things at this point. So parameterized constructor. How about that for some big words? That'll confuse everybody. Oh, I'm using a thread.random. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to stop the recording.